So this is a webinar that we are going to talk about. This is basically a session, an interactive session that we are going to talk about the new age liability products. Basically, if you see the broad perspective of this webinar, it is that which are the general insurance products which are beneficial or a requirement for the MSME sector. And to be very particular, today we'll talk about the liability insurance part, and which is kind of the new age liability products which are now becoming very popular. Popular means just because of the necessity of the days today, because of this prevailing situation of COVID. So we will, talk about all this type of new age liability products. And to discuss on this, we have our specialist, who's Ms. Pragya Acharya. She is the liability underwriting head for SBI General Insurance, and she's my colleague. She's from the underwriting team. So before I hand it over to Ms. Pragya, I would like to share some of the events, like what exactly is why this new age liability products are required. What are the events that we face because of which we need this type of coverage? It's very common in our day-to-day life. In fact, just to share with you, I myself have faced such situation 2 years back. I was traveling to Indonesia, and Pragya was also there with us for an official trip. In Bali the next day, I was having breakfast at the hotel and just connected the Wi-Fi. Connected my mobile with the Wi-Fi, and suddenly I found that there are series of emails which is stating that one of my credit cards have been swiped for an amount of more than 4 lakhs. So I was kind of shocked. What happened suddenly in a night, overnight? I was traveling. I just, in the morning, I found that my credit card has been charged with more than 4 lakhs of transactions, which were not at all done by me, all fraudulent transactions. So I immediately tried to call up the call center here of that credit card company. And somehow I blocked my card and kind of, reported the fraud and everything. So this kind of events, like this is something which is which can be covered under a card liability policy.
Shiladitya, you have to unmute yourself once again. Sorry.
Okay, so now it's okay?
Now it's okay.
Fine. Thank you so much. Yeah. So this type of incidents or events happens with people across their lives and throughout their lives. Now, during this particular work from home situation, we all know because of this prevailing COVID situation, most of the companies we are having this work from home scenario as of now. So this type of scenarios also kind of create a lot of situation where you are exposed to the cyber crime events. Cyber crime events are also covered by a coverage in in a liability insurance. So all these details will be well explained by Pragya during her session. I'm just giving few examples just to make you aware that why this is required. Even there's a bio extension cover which is there in a product called Commercial General Liability under liability insurance, which can also give you a coverage if somebody walks into your office and kind of get you infected with such pandemic. So there are ways and means, and Pragya will be she's an expert. She'll be sharing with you her views and what are the typical coverages available under this policy. So before wasting any time, I would like to invite Pragya and would like to hand over the audience and the stage to Pragya for taking us through a very interesting journey of liability insurance offering to cover, to safeguard this new age, crime, cyber crime, threats because of this prevailing condition. So it's all yours, Pragya. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shiladitya. Is this echoing?
Your voice is echoing, Pragya.
Better now?
Yeah.
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 Okay,
Okay,
great.
great.
Good evening,
Good evening, ladies and
gentlemen.
gentlemen.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for
much for
giving
giving
this
the
opportunity to
to
connect
connect with
with you.
Still it is echoing, Pragya. Still it's echoing.
Uh, how
how
do I
do I
deal with it? I
I
do
do
not
not
have
have
an
an
idea.
idea.
Give me
Give
a
me a
minute or two. Let me look at it.
Yeah, I think you can leave and then join. Probably that
uh,
might help.
sounds better now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
better.
better. That's
That's
better.
much
That's
better.
better.
Great. So I'll start all over again. Thank you so much for this opportunity to connect with you. Now, before I talk about liability insurance, none of us can magically predict what's going to happen in the future. None of us ever thought about the COVID situation we have all been in for the past few months. And I'm sure all of us are now more aware of unexpected events that can cause. It's starting to echo again, or what?
No, it's fine.
That's okay. Okay. So unexpected events will always be there, and they will impact the way businesses are conducted and profits are made, or losses happen, or businesses just plain closing down. So it's businesses just like life, very unpredictable, and a lot of things can happen. Now you all are business owners and want to concentrate on what you do best, which is conduct your business in the best possible way. Like we as insurers, we want to do insurance business in the best possible way and need to focus our energies on that. So there are some things we cannot focus our energies on and need to delegate. Like, there will be certain risks that cannot be managed at a company level and need to be insured. Now, all of you are very much aware of health insurance needs, motor insurance needs, because compulsory kind of liability, more aware of health insurance now because of the COVID scenario. And of course, your assets, business assets that you need to protect and have been taking adequate care of. I'll give you a small example. Supposedly somebody comes to visit you in your office, showroom, shop, and there's some water spill just because somebody else was drinking water and slipped. Now, if this person falls down, has a major hip injury, has a busted knee or something, this person is definitely going to ask to be compensated because they come to visit you for business. Or for that matter, if it's me and you visits a restaurant, falls down, we want them to compensate us if it's a very grievous injury. Who pays them? For SME business owners, the funds left to take care of unpredictability are extremely low. That is why we are more vulnerable to legal liabilities. And to take care of these legal liabilities, there are various forms of insurance available, the very basic of which would be a public liability insurance. The current example that I gave you was like somebody coming into your office, your shop, or any place that you conduct business from. It could be like you are attending an exhibition and you have a stall of yours. It could be as simple as that. And somebody comes to visit you for business purposes or otherwise and sustains an injury. Who takes care of that? Who pays for that? If an insurance is unavailable, it will be you or your business. As SME business owners, putting funds into something like this would be a big ask. I mean, if the small injury can be immediately taken care of, nothing like it. If it's something grievous that a person sustains, then there is something called a public liability insurance that can take care of it. Even the smallest of knee surgery, hip injury surgery, slip disc in a back costs lakhs of rupees. And imagine this happening repetitively. In fact, worldwide slip and fall claims cause the highest losses to insurers. So you can well imagine where I am coming from. The other situation, this person who comes to visit you is a big business guy and falls, and their smartphone or their tab or laptop are completely damaged. What do you do then? Who pays for that? Because this is not bodily injury you're talking of. Now someone's property has been damaged. The other side, in your shop, you have flammable goods which you have not kept properly, catches fire and burns out the next shop as well. Who compensates for that? Everything needs to be taken care of, and there are insurances available to take care of this. Now, there's public liability for the examples that I gave you. an enhanced version of public liability. Now, I said that there are damages and your business may need to pay for it. What if this person gets well and wants to fight it out in a civil court and says, you need to compensate me, and then the civil court awards certain damages. Now, the defense costs for this, plus the compensation, plus whatever, the injured party be taken care of by a liability insurance policy, which is the public liability insurance policy. Now, I'm sure all of you as business owners, you take ample care to make sure that your products are of highest quality if you're involved in product manufacturing or selling. But there are still very bright chances that the product may not be of the best quality, more so when businesses grow, or they may fail to work properly. Let's take a simple example of maybe a children's garment. Now, what if the threads used are very highly flammable? What if they are not of proper quality and cause rashes to children? What if the kid plain suffocates wearing it, like, trying to pull it down their neck? These are very small instances and they have practically happened. Food poisoning, food allergies in bakery products, nuts allergies, anaphylactic shocks because of them. These are very real life examples. This is there is no scene here कि मेरे साथ ये नहीं होता है, এটা আমাদের business है, হয় না, that does not happen here. It is there. It is very much there, and there is an insurance protection available for it. So why not look at it? So there is product liability, there is public liability, and what insurers have very smartly done is they have packaged it together to make a combined or commercial general liability insurance policy. Easy to buy, easy to understand and perceive. How much value you need to buy for product liability or public liability is left to your choice in terms, because you are the best judge of the business that you run. Now, if it's a very high turnover business with only products, you will look at more for product liability, less for public liability. If you're running a restaurant where people walk in every other day, or if you're running shops or showrooms, or if you're majorly into event management and stuff, you need to look at higher public liability limits. We have officials locally who can assist you with all of this. And to sum it up in terms of public liability, product liability, and the combined product of this, which we call commercial general liability, they take care of bodily injury, property damage arising out of the premises that you run your business from, or the products that you sell. Now, if you think that only manufacturers need a product liability policy, then there's a gross mistake here. If it's a trader, like when you all go and buy a cell phone, do you go to an LG or a Samsung or an Oppo? You don't. You go to the next shop available. You go to a Chroma, Reliance Digital, or the shop nearest to your home. Now, if something goes wrong with the phone, it could be as grievous as the phone exploding or as simple as the phone just not working. You go to that shop. You do not go to a Samsung or an LG. So the compensation is equally applicable to a manufacturer, a trader, a handler. So everybody in the scheme of things handling a product may need to buy this policy, not only just manufacturer. Further details, if you want, are available. I will be sharing a presentation, of course, later with very basics. But if you have queries, please feel free to post them on the chat and I will answer them a little while later while I move on to the next product that we are going to talk of. Most of you are the business owners. Some of you may have converted your business into companies and hold the role of a very senior executive or the director of a company. Now, if you hold the role of a director or a company officer, for SME businesses, you cannot just afford to go without something called a directors and officers liability insurance policy. For short, we call it D&O, and that's the term I will be using during the duration that I talk to you about this. In any court case, why a D&O insurance is required for small businesses is for frivolous things, as small as a check bounce because, that it got stale or something. There are cases where people pull in the business owners and people pull in the directors and officers. Now, any court case could be harmful to a business and it could have a damaging effect on you as an individual, as a business owner, and can even strain your personal finances, because your directors and officers are now, after changes in company law, held personally liable for certain things. The D&O insurance, what it does is it protects your business and your assets which are at risk. Your policy could also provide you with the funding to cover legal expenses if required, the settlement that the court awards, and related fees. Directors and officers' liability is like an absolute essential part of your business suits. Now, it's common for business owners to believe that, I do not need this and only big companies and listed companies need it. Not true at all. When you're researching for your business insurance, a lot of you may have come across directors and officers liability insurers and thought to yourself that मुझे नहीं चाहिए. This is only for big companies which are publicly traded, which have shareholders and all of that. It is true that you may not run the risk of being sued by shareholders and stuff, but you are still running a company, and lawsuits or request for compensation can't come from employees, customers, and even small businesses have investors. So even investors or any other interested parties. For small businesses, D&O claims may not happen very often, but when they do, the costs are like humongous. They just hit the roof anytime. And what happens is, most of the time for business owners, their personal wealth is tied up with the business. So if your personal wealth is tied up with the business, more so that, because if there is a litigation, the court may ask you to pay it out of your expense, your personal wealth. It can also attach your spouse's wealth or any joint property that is involved. It is always wise to have a D&O policy. Any business, no matter how big or small, needs to have a D&O policy, because complainants come from anywhere. In the current lockdown situation now, many people have had to lay off employees. In fact, today one of my RMs from the north had called that a particular business has had to lay off a lot of employees, and most of them have gone to labor court saying that we do not know why we have been let go, and this is illegal termination. So if you want to know if you need D&O insurance, the likely answer is yes. This is not just for high profile companies. Even if yours is a privately held small firm, as long as you have business leaders, you have shareholders, investors, you have employees, so you are answerable to some government agencies, you have to have a D&O insurance. In fact, smaller corporations are far more vulnerable to financial
সাথে কথা বললে চলছে তো মেটা এসে গেছে কি করে
the smaller operation is, the more vulnerable it is to financial devastation, because litigation fees are like killer. So what a D&O insurance does is it helps protect you from a wide variety of litigation. If you have a D&O insurance, better people would want to join you because they are protected. It provides a buffer from potentially devastating legal fees. Surprisingly, private companies are almost as likely to face litigation losses as public ones. Directors and officers of private companies are also liable in unique ways. Private companies tend to have executives who are involved in business activities at all levels, actually, which puts them in a wider variety of situations where they are accountable. Also, private business executives often have a large amount of their personal wealth invested in the company. A huge loss for the executive personally could mean a huge loss to the company as well. Nowadays, no business is immune from business liability, therefore D&O liability. Again, how much D&O insurance policy costs and how much you need to buy is all left to discussion, because we need to know your business before we are able to tell you what you need to do, how much you need to buy. However, saying that, all business are principally vulnerable to D&O claims, especially because all businesses have employees. So they need to take care of them and can still be involved in potential litigation. So a D&O absolutely is a must. What, in a nutshell, it does is, the way you run your business has to be right. If it is not right and somebody like an employee, a holder, even a competitor is aggrieved, they can ask you to compensate, and this policy will take care of it. I seem to have some questions shared. Inflammable items kept in business area, but an insurer can dispute claim on ground of gross negligence. Then how do under people cannot an insurer cannot dispute it on base of gross negligence. There can be contributory negligence, as in if you need to say pay a, if the claim amount is say a 5 crore or a 6 crore or just even 1 crore, the insurer can say, since you have not kept your goods properly and this has caused the fire, I'll pay you 80 lakhs, but they just cannot deny a claim. And you know what situation caused the fire, and denying a claim is the onus of the insurer. They have to prove the gross negligence to not pay. They cannot just make a statement. And if actual gross negligence is proved, even then the basics of defense costs and medical expenses will be payable to the policy. I have another query. Is there any insurance product which will cover my law firm liability in case of breach of privacy of our clients? I don't know the radio gentleman who asked us. For a legal firm, there are two policies that will cover breach of privacy. One would be errors and omissions or professional indemnity policy, and the other would be a cyber liability insurance. So I will, we may be short of time because we were intending to take up cyber liability next. Time permitting, I will touch upon the errors and omissions liability insurance as well. I have another query. Being a car rental, already we have insurance for car and for our chauffeur. So my question is, under which category public liability insurance are coming? Okay, so your car insurance policy will have a third party liability, which is a regulatory mandatory liability without which you cannot ply your cars.
Okay, you have to unmute yourself once again. Sorry.
Okay, what did you all hear last? You heard about the law firm that we talked about, E&O insurance. I'll talk about later. Okay. Okay. So this query was about from a law firm owner. So for the law firms, on errors and omissions or professional indemnity, they're interchangeable names. You can buy that policy. And a cyber policy, because breach of privacy is more covered by a cyber policy or this. I will touch upon it after I've taken the other queries and finished with the sessions that we had planned, because E&O was not a part of it. How I'll carve out a time for that. The next query was, being a car rental, already we have insurance for car and for our chauffeur. So my question is, under which category public liability insurance is coming? Okay, for your car, you have a motor third party liability insurance, which is mandatory. So you have to buy it to use it. But you all have heard instances of where drivers have, you know, injured the customer in the car, or have made wrong moves towards the car occupant, or plane have not taken them to the distance that they were supposed to take. Now, a regular public liability policy will not address these things, because what here most aggrieved people talk about is harassment or mental trauma or anguish and stuff like that. For that, you have to look at a commercial general liability policy, because the definition of bodily injury in that policy includes mental trauma and anguish. For a car rental agency, depending on how big your business is in terms of revenue, it should not be a very expensive cover. So you can touch base with our officials. Abhishek team will share their contact coordinates and we can help you out with it. You can review your need for that cover. Hardly insurance company will accept policy for lawyers, though it's available. I would like to tell this insurance firm that, you know, we are more than happy to look at legal firms. We insure some of the biggest legal firms in the country, including the Amarchand Mangaldas and all. So please feel free to connect with us. We will be more than willing to look at your liability insurance requirements. Abhishek, please share any other queries that come through. I will move on to the next more interesting stuff that I wanted to address. And something that all of us have been hearing about constantly, which is like, cyber insurance. Now, today, most of us spend so much time on the internet that, okay, I have another query on D&O. I'll address this and move to the cyber cover, and then we'll take queries at the end. Not convinced about contributory negligence, ma'am. A gross negligence is an explicit warranty. So if the fire claim is denied, how can TP liability addressed? Please highlight. Okay, the commercial liability or public liability are exclusive of the fire insurance policy. What the fire insurance policy says. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to
Okay.
mute everyone who is
Okay.
talking on
Okay.
board. I would
Sorry.
request everyone to kindly switch off your audio, please, apart from the speaker, so that we can hear everyone uninterrupted.
So unless there is, unless the policy specifically talks that your negligence has, so there is a reasonable care condition in all insurance policies which says that at all times you have to behave in a manner that you are not insured. Now for the flammable things, I am not saying that you have deliberately kept and that is why somebody has got, you have kept things that should be kept in a certain manner. Still there is a short circuit which has nothing to do with you, but there was extra load on the line that you used. If you are actually negligent as an insured, there will be investigation, and if it is proved, then it will not be payable. But to prove it and to deny it a claim under a gross negligence is the insurer's onus and not yours. We cannot just flat out say that, there is gross negligence and therefore we will not pay. It has to be proven by us as insurers. The other query is there any policy which can cover my total business like default in payment, business loss due to disruption in production? Not a liability policy at the moment. We can discuss something on trade credit, but this looks like a first party loss and may not be available. I will, however, take it under advisement and come back to you. There is another cover, madam, under D&O policy, errors in judgment is also covered or not. Okay, D&O policy covers management liability, which means you need to manage and run your business in a proper manner. If there is an error in how you run the business, yes. If it is an error in your professional service you are rendering, there is a different policy altogether available for it. I am not sure I have answered your query right or not. However, feel free to get in touch again so that I can address it better.
My audio is disconnected. Just give me a minute to log back in on the phone.
Can you hear now?
Am I audible again?
Yes.
Yeah, you're good.
I'd request everyone to keep yourself in a mute mode so that we can hear from Pragya. Pragya, you have to unmute yourself. Pragya, you have to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. I'm so sorry. Some technological errors at my end. Now for the very interesting thing that I find it interesting. Basically, all of you must have read about a ransomware attack or a NotPetya attack.
Just give me 1 second. Somebody is talking. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah. So I'll start back again. I'm sure all of you, most of you must have read or heard about the ransomware or not PTI attack or something that, these kind of incidents that have been happening of late. So all of us are constantly, especially after the COVID lockdown situation, constantly using internet on everything. Like right now, I'm connected on my phone and laptop both. I have my daughter using the another laptop outside for her studies. So whether it's schooling, bank payments, giving orders, accepting payments, like there's so much of our life that has now become digitally dependent. Now, the increasing use of digital technology.
Pragya, again you have.
Is lost. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Audible now?
Yeah.
Audible now? So sorry. I'm get stuck. Okay, I'll restart. We have been increasingly using the digital world for all our needs, whether it's, like uh,
Voice is not coming.
Yeah, not audible. We can't hear you.
Pragya, voice is not coming.
hello. Uh,
I think
Hi,
you are
audible.
using laptop and mobile both, and you have
Yeah,
to mute one and another. You have to be unmuted. Otherwise, the
uh,
echo is come and technical glitch will come all time.
am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear audible.
Okay. So I was talking about, how increasing digital use is affecting our day-to-day lives. And now, though the digital use has made our lives more convenient and more efficient, but a lot of digital security issues have also cropped up. And for businesses, these have actually led to some businesses just shutting down in a lot of places, because how a lot of businesses, especially the new age ones, conduct so much of business digitally. This is what we call as cyber threat. Now, cyber threats are evolving rapidly due to the digital transformation that is happening. The use of internet-enabled devices is very widespread, and very high-profile attacks have happened recently. About ransomware is something that all of you have heard about. What the ransomware basically does is they encrypt everything that is available on your digital devices and not let you use it for whatever reasons. Even you will not be able to make a call on it. Uh, there are privacy breaches now. There is a digital regulation in US, there's something in Europe, and something similar is going to come in India. So if you are doing any business on the internet, you will have to follow those rules, which include, all of you have heard about the Aadhaar breach data breach and all of that, right? Now that contains very personal data of ours, including, biometrics of ours. Now, breach of such kind of data, imagine till what level that data can be used by someone. Have you all seen that, you watch a certain ad or a certain video on the internet, and the next day you start getting messages, or whenever you log into a certain app or a website, ads related to what you watched keep cropping up? That is the level to what one is watching what you are doing. These are called chatbot data grabbing. Now, a lot of these breaches happen all the time and can at times cost you very bad, because supposedly you are the vendor or a supplier to a very big firm. Now, because of breaches in your system to which they are connected, a malware or a ransomware enters their system, and which leads to a cyber attack. Like all other things, cyber forensics are also very strong and can always determine where the first breach happened. It may not be able to find the address of the hacker or who attacked, but where the first security breach happened is something that's easily detectable. Now, if that is your business, being a small business, imagine a behemoth big business wanting you to compensate for it. what do? It can literally wipe the business out. That are the level of compensation people till this year. In fact, 2019 is the data that I have. Every cyber breach on an average costs around Indian rupees 75 lakhs. And that amount is supposed to go up. The average breach cost is supposed to go up to 15 crores by next year. That is the level at which a cybersecurity breach is happening these days. Because I guess the COVID situation, people working from home, where we have less safety in terms of a firewall or a breach environment, has made it very difficult for small business owners to mitigate those kind of risks. For businesses, the first line of defense for cyber threat is greater investment in security technology. But that may not always be the final port of call, because then you will need, cyber insurance to take care of it. How do you go about cyber insurance? What cyber insurance does is something that we at SBIG have been working on. And trust me, unlike like if I have a product liability policy, I know that a product usage could go wrong or a product manufacturing could go wrong. In case of cyber insurance, even we as insurers are unaware what could lead to the next claim that might happen. So it is very difficult for business owners to know what is going to happen next. So what a cyber insurance policy does is it covers, like I talked of product liability, public liability, directors and officers liability. It always pays claim to a third party who is not your business. A cyber liability policy, in the meanwhile, pays for your business and it to you as well as any third party that might be aggrieved. Now, the first part of it could be you being hit with a ransomware or a hacking attack, because of which you are not able to conduct your business, which essentially means business interruption. Now, what happens in case of business interruption is, for hours together or days together, you will not be able to conduct any business online. Are we, any of us, in a position to manage that kind of an issue? We cannot, because without digital without any digital world, it would be extremely difficult for us to conduct any kind of business these days. Everybody expects you to pay their bills online, place orders online, do everything online. So business interruption is like something that is just there. And if you look at statistics, either you are a business that has already been hacked, or you are a business that hasn't been hacked and you are unaware of. Aside from hacking attempts, there are a number of other cyber crimes. There could be cyberbullying, there could be money is being siphoned off your accounts. Now, there are several ways to mitigate this risk, and cyber insurance just helps an organization by offsetting the costs that are involved here. Companies directing large number of employees to work from home for the first time because of the current pandemic are again facing a host of cybersecurity issues. Because, most companies do not know what, as simple as the Wi-Fi being at home is much easier to hack because it doesn't have the firewalls that your office Wi-Fi or LAN connection has. As SME business employers, there is a need to reinforce the need for employees working from home to follow a cyber hygiene. The problem is we are suddenly pushing out a lot of employees who are not very good cyber commuters to manage things about technology themselves. We ourselves, like today I am facing, like the audio on my laptop is not working properly for some reason. I may end up downloading another software which may allow me to send my audio to you, but may have a malware, which now just doesn't remain in my laptop. When I log into my office LAN, it's passed on there. It may end up being on your accounts as well. So since we are all connected, it will be very difficult to say that, I am immune from this and nothing is going to happen to me. Cyber breach, data breach, business interruption. Now, if data breach happens, what you need to do is every person on every entity whose data is breached needs to be communicated. That involves a cost. There is a business reputation lost. That involves a cost. There are other businesses who may not be able to run their business because your business led to a security breach. They will ask you to compensate. All of this can be taken care of by a cyber liability insurance policy. Our especially the SBI General Cyber Liability Insurance Policy is more catering to the MSME companies taking care of most of their business needs. It can cover your reputation costs if you need to give out a media advertisement that, you know, this breach has happened and we need to connect with you to tell you what has happened. It can take care of your business interruption costs. If you need to compensate someone for data breach, for media liability relating to your business, all of that can be taken care of by a cyber liability insurance policy. Again, our team is there to connect with you and help you out with these. I had that's what cyber liability is an everyday thing. You're seeing it every day. If you have queries, more than willing to address them. I had spoken about something called an errors and omissions liability when I was answering the queries. Now, errors and omissions liability insurance is basically for people who do actually a lot of physical activities related to business, manufacturing, production, etc., running shops, running other businesses. They need to have a public liability, a product liability insurance. For businesses like legal firms, chartered accountants firms, you more of need a service liability, which is an errors and omissions liability insurance. Basically, you are supposed to do things and you do it right. You're not supposed to do things and you do end up doing them. Or you're supposed to do things and you don't end up doing them. There could be an error and there could be omission. Any third party liability arising out of this, I was asked by a legal firm here whether we will compensate for that. Yes, an errors and omissions policy where a client says that, you know, you have not dealt with my case properly or you have given me wrong advice. Those kind of claims can be picked up by a errors and omissions policy. And it just does not stop at that. The legal costs are payable. The compensation is also payable. There are mitigation expenses like, you know, having to negotiate and discuss out of the court or settlement. Even that can be taken care of by a errors and omissions policy. I have a query here regarding how D&O helps an independent director having directorship with multiple organizations. Okay, abroad there is a policy available for individual directors to buy, which is not yet prevalent in India. What the independent director can do is insist that every board he or she sits on has a D&O policy. Other than that, all D&O policies offer an exclusive separate limit for independent directors, and they must make sure that that limit is significant enough to take care of their interest. There's another query on how do we report a claim and how does an insurance company assist us in reporting an attack? Is reporting to cyber police a prerequisite? Okay, in case of cyber claims, we have a tie-up with an external agency. Like I said, you know, the cyber risk scenario is constantly evolving. So we have a technology company called DXC Breachcraft, which assists us with claims. If you end up buying a cyber insurance policy with SBI General, you will have a toll-free. It is a dedicated toll-free. There's no waiting time on it. The moment you dial the number, a call center person will assist you with the first basics, like you report that there has been a breach and this is what I see. It could be as simple as shut down your computer and plug it out of the LAN first. Then an expert from DXC Breachcraft will call you and assist you with the next steps, like it could be like shut down your server or unplug all electronic devices and the easier stuff. Then an expert will visit your premises if required and assist you therefrom. When we start underwriting as liability business for the cyber liability insurance program for you, we also give you tips on how to manage your current cyber life security plan as well. We give you tips on that, and if required, we have a panel of experts who can assist you with auditing your security systems and giving you a plan to make them better. Because, you know, insurance is there, but nothing can help you better than a proper cyber security plan. Insurance is there to take care of untoward circumstances, while having a good cyber security in place, there's nothing like it. So how you report a claim is you just give us a call on the toll-free number given to you, or for that matter, the local relationship manager who sells the policy to you, their phone numbers will also be available with you. Just give a call to us and we are more than there to take care of this, because we have a dedicated agency taking care of this. They have people who will do it dedicatedly only for SBI General. Is reporting to cyber police a prerequisite? May not always be. It could be an innocuous thing, but if required, yes. But to start reporting a claim, you do not have to have the FIR in place. In fact, the first thing you need to do is call your insurers and say that this incident has happened, because a cyber police will take care of it post fact, while a cyber insurer will actually help you to take the next steps. I have another query on, does the product liability cover claims from clients overseas regarding quality of exports? Okay, for product liability claim to trigger, there has to be an actual bodily injury or property damage. The quality of exports is not insured under product liability. A bad quality product leading to a claim can be insured, but just because a buyer says your things are not right quality and I'm sending them back or not accepting them, that is not covered. I see another query here. We are not SMSC. Can we MSME? Can we take this insurance? Of course you can. All forms of insurances are available for even non-SME MSMEs. Sorry, I missed. Abhishek, are there any further queries?
Just a second. No, that's fine. You can carry on.
So I
You can
think
carry on.
I have shared, you have covered all. I think you have covered all the most, all the.
There's another query. If we take insurance for our assets and store items, then what will be the charges? Okay, this our team will get back to you, because you need to give us some information before we are able to give that to you. Not convinced about, okay, this is tech. Is there any policy which can cover mine? Okay, I think we have addressed all the queries. We have write-ups and detailed brochures for the products that I've discussed with you today, which our team will share with the organizing team so that you can have access to it. Shiladitya, myself, Abhishek, who helped organize this, are more than always available for you to come back to, so that we can answer all your queries. Thank you for being such a patient audience. If you have any further queries, I'm right here to answer them.
There are other few queries I'm just mentioning.
Sure,
First, that which policy covers website developments and install software?
Again, errors and omissions for the website something wrongly developed, or website is not like it should have been, or leads to a breach, or has bugs, then it's an errors and omissions. But if there's a hacking breach, a virus breach, a malware, or a ransomware, or a botnet kind of a thing, then a cyber insurance policy. So both of them, for all ITES companies, an errors and omissions policy and a cyber insurance policy is an absolute must. So if you have any kind of such business, please feel free to connect with us on that, because for you it's like an imperative. You have to have it.
And what will be the waiting period for cyber claims that somebody has?
It's 12 hours. Because within 12 hours, most of the extent of business interruption waiting period is 12 hours.
Sanjay,
other than that, sorry, there was a query. So only for the business interruption bit, it's 12 hours. Since the others are third party claims, they are payable otherwise also. They are not subject to a time deductible.
Sanjay is asking, can I cover my production rejections due to machinery problem?
Machinery problem? No, I don't think that's an insurable thing under any of the liability policies. Now, if it's a machinery breakdown kind of a thing, that's a different material damage policy altogether, but not a liability cover per se.
There is Joydeep Goswami is asking is if all the policies had to be taken, the pricing of the product would go up hugely. For SME, don't you think it's not kind of beyond their limit? Is there a composite policy which covers?
Sir, since I have been dealing with these policies for a very long time, I suggest you please get in touch with Abhishek and his team, because they seem to be very expensive but are not. And we have tried to even price the cyber product for MSMEs and SMEs very, very reasonably. And SMEs and MSMEs do not handle too much of personally identifiable information or credit card information, etc. So the pricing for them is not as expensive as you think. Speak to us, just get a hang of it, or what we can do is we can tailor it around the budget that you're willing to. I mean, you run your business, you know better how much you're willing to spend. So take a look at it, and then you can decide, these are first priority covers, so buy these and then maybe look at the rest. They are not as expensive as they sound.
Okay. So that's a good news for them. Somebody is asking that he belongs to a testing company which is which deals with testing electrical equipments. On the basis of the equipment's testing, whether these kind of insurance would be applicable for the equipment.
Yes, because you are offering the service of testing the products for a manufacturing company, you will again need an errors and omissions insurance. That would be more to do with the work that you do. Yes.
Thank you, Pragya. It's a very, very interesting.
What about the
Thank
transit
you.
insurance?
And people have inquired a lot of things.
I'm sorry, I heard someone talking about transit insurance. Well, transit insurance is also available. Marine insurance, again, our local team will help you out. Please feel free to get in touch with us. Not a part of liability insurance, but we do have it.
Thank you, Pragya. Now I will hand it over to Abhishek.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, audience. Thank you so much.
On behalf of Bengal Chamber, we really thank you and Shiladita also. Now I'll hand it over to Abhishek if you can conclude it.
Thank you, Arnab. Thank you. I think, ladies and gentlemen, giving your time on a Saturday evening. We are really grateful to all of you, all the participants who have joined us. We are also grateful to Mr. Shiladitya Chaudhary and Pragya for taking this webinar ahead. And of course, Bengal Chamber of Commerce, along with Arnab, for organizing this constructive event and this interactive session. In fact, I would also request, because all of you have registered through the BCCI promotion material, to answer many of your questions. We have another session scheduled on 12th of September, which primarily would deal with property insurance, fire insurance, business interruptions, which is basically nothing but fire loss of profit policies, and the different aspects of risk management, how to mitigate your risks, and how claims are settled. What are the documentations required, how to expedite things. So please join that seminar as well, because it is a single registration for both the seminars. And once again, thank you all for participating in the event. We will have the contact details of all of you, and my team will be in touch with each one of you to address all your queries and see what best policies can be given to you, which Pragya had already communicated. So thank you all. Thank you, Arnab.